The parents of a Colorado girl are taking action after their daughter came here to Washington, D.C. on one of those elementary school field trips. It was this past June. Well, the girl was forced to share a bed with a biological boy who says he's a girl. Well, the school's policies prevent parents from knowing the gender of the student with whom their child is expected to share a bed with on a field trip. In fact, it hides it from their own parents. Joining me now to discuss this and more, Meg Kilgannon, Senior Fellow for Education Studies here at the Family Research Council. She served in the Department of Education during the Trump administration. Meg, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
All right, tell me this isn't true.
I wish I could. I wish I could say we didn't predict this would be happening, but we certainly did predict it, and it is unfortunately true.
And this is not isolated.
No.
This is coming out of the policies, started with the Obama administration. The Trump pushed actually undid it, and then it came back with the Biden administration in full force.
With a vengeance, yes.
So give us the details of this case.
So this case in Colorado, this student, the boy who's identifying as a girl, I think that his status may have been unknown even to other children in the school. I'm not sure how long he had been at the school. But the parents, in addressing this need of their daughter to not share a bed with a biological boy, the school encouraged them to express something other than the real reason they wanted to change the room. Like don't say it's because you don't want your daughter to share a bed with a boy, because that of course would be hateful, because this boy is actually a girl.
And according to the policies of the school, that would be, the problem is not with the fact that there is a boy sleeping in a girl's bed, it's that a girl didn't like the fact that a boy was sleeping in her bed.
It's that a girl could not ignore the fact that a boy was sleeping in her bed.
Right.
She could not go along with the lie that this is actually a transgender girl. And so the parents, they were able to resolve the situation, and she didn't. The student didn't have to share a bed with the boy. But that meant that some other girl on the trip did, right? I mean, this has been, ever since these policies started, since, my sort of origin story back into politics is over this issue. And we said, when our school board decided to go down this road, we said, what about the kids on trips?
Yeah.
What is my daughter on a trip going to be able to say, no, I don't want to share a bed with a...
And this is elementary school.
Yes.
They're starting
I was
early.
thinking about band trips in high school, right? But these kids are in 5th grade.
Right. So the policy also states that, quote, under no circumstances should a transgender student be required to share a room with children whose gender identity conflicts with their own. Now, I know you got to kind of draw a chart there to figure all that out, but what about the normal children who don't want their privacy invaded? Where are their rights?
They're not allowed to have an opinion, right? Their role is simply to make the existence of the transgender student acceptable to that student, and has nothing to do with the rights of the other children that are involved, which is the real shame of it. I mean, this little boy who's identifying as a girl, he's not being well served by the adults in his life.
No.
Right?
But
we're failing that child, too.
I've said this before, but there's this unholy trinity of the Biden administration and the left. It is abortion. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. It is the LGBTQ agenda, and it is climate. Those three.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to go to a clip of John Kerry over at the COP28 conference in the UAE in Dubai. I guess it was Monday or over the weekend he made these statements. Play that clip of John Kerry, the climate czar.
If we can't hear Mother Nature and can't judge with our own eyes what the science is telling us, this is not about politics. There's no ideology. There's no pejorative against any one business or any approach. There is simply mathematics and physics and some chemistry and biology. That is what we are acting on.
I have a hard time believing that, because my eyes tell me what a girl is and what a boy is. Biology tells me that, and they're denying it. They are the deniers.
Absolutely. that is the level of nonsense that you're confronting. I mean, this is when you follow the arguments of the left in their denial of God, in their denial of the basic dignity of the human person, when you follow those things out to their logical conclusions, you end up with 10-year-old girls not being able to say, I don't want to sleep in a bed with a boy.
But here's the good news, Meg Kilgannon. Parents are standing up.
Yes.
Just like these parents are, but
Yes.
now we've got, just yesterday, parents in Maryland and in Montgomery County were in court trying to make sure that the school allows them to opt their children out of this indoctrination.
Right. And I think what is important for people to understand is the level of acceptance that is required of you as a person to adopt what they think is right. They think that this material, this diversity, equity, and inclusion material, is so basic to the instruction of your child that they couldn't possibly be opted out of it. It should be incorporated into every subject and every academic setting throughout the school day, which is absurd, right? But that's why it's so difficult for them to opt your kid out.
It goes back to the point that it is the unholy trinity.
Yes. Yes.
This is a must. This is essential, and they will do whatever they have to do to get this into the minds of your children.
Right.
And that is why parents must stand up and say, enough is enough.
And thank God people are doing that.
And we have some resources for them. Very quickly, where can they find them?
Yes. We want you to consider running for school board so you can push back on some of this nonsense. So we'd love it if you would go to www.frcaction.org/schools, and there are lots of resources there for you to consider that call.
All right, Meg Kilgannon, always great to see you. Thanks so
Great
much
to
for
see you.
joining us.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.